33-story hotel and condo project?
I'd probably be
okay,
like
like
that.
stop, tap.
This is a plan by the community for the community.
This one here. Showing me.
No problem, Ken. Thanks for having me.
It's Kent Molgat for KelownaNow. And we're joined by Angie Lohr from Hope Outreach. Angie, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So Hope Outreach reaches out to at-risk women, prostitutes, drug addicts, women at risk, correct?
Yes, homeless, exploited, addicted, whatever that looks like.
Right. You've been doing this for about 10 years?
Yeah, we started 10 years ago with 2 volunteers on the street level, grown to 130 volunteers, expanded to 2 cities in Vernon as well. 2 volunteers go out every night, handing out outreach supplies, toothbrushes, toothpaste, wipes, shampoos. We also take bad date reports. We hand out harm reductions, so clean injecting kits or smoking kits. And we also have a dedicated Narcan team.
Right, so it seems to me that you probably know more about what's going on in the lives of these women than most people in the community.
We have a pretty good idea, being out there with them every night of the week. I've got some past experience myself with a bad cocaine addiction, ended up homeless, addicted, and in sex trade as well. So I've got a very good idea of what they're going through and their challenges. And
you walked in their shoes.
I did, yes.
But you were able to pull out of it, and now, but you look back and see that as being your former self, and so you want to help.
Correct, exactly.
That's where you're coming from. So there's some people I hear speaking about this issue that talk about eliminating it, you know, getting everyone to stop doing that, but it is the world's oldest profession. I take it, talking to you, that you don't have any illusions. Prostitution is always going to be there.
Prostitution is there. It will always be there. It's a judgment kind of employment opportunity, I guess. People don't know about it. They don't know why women are in it for various reasons. And yes, it will never go away. It is supply and demand.
So, are we dealing with it the right way? It seems now that most of it, there were phases in Kelowna where you saw more sort of street walkers.
Correct.
Now it seems most of them find a place in a massage parlor, escort service kind of arrangement.
Yes, it's changed a lot over the last years from when I was into it and what it looks like today. So it is very dangerous on the street. Women were getting arrested for standing on a corner and never knowing who was going to pick you up and whether you were going to come back to that corner.
So is it safer to have them tucked away in these massage parlors with, you know?
Well, let's face it, we're not just getting a massage in the massage parlor.
Right.
I think everybody needs to admit, instead of hide, that they know what's going on behind these closed doors.
Right.
Yes, is it safer to have them indoors? Of course it is. But do you have proper proprietors running these businesses? Are the girls getting health care? Are they working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, trying to make ends meet?
Right.
Are we taking on a Scandinavian, perhaps, look at this? The prostitution laws have kind of stopped in Canada.
Right. It seems to me that we still have at least a thin veil of pretense that this isn't prostitution going on in these places. So it sounds to me like, speaking with you, you'd like us to be more kind of upfront about what's going on, and then maybe deal with it in a more upfront manner. Like maybe have these places inspected and managed, and having outside eyes on how the women who work in this trade are being treated.
Well, and they are inspected to a certain degree. I believe the RCMP are, inspecting and seeing who is working in these offices and so forth. They try and do the best, but if illegal activity goes on, it's usually too late, or there's no proof, or the girls won't come forward, or for whatever reasons.
Right. So what are some things we can do to stop women from being further exploited once they're in one of these places off the street?
Well, as a country, we're legalizing marijuana now. We're finally looking at sexual harassment in the workplace. When are we going to look at prostitution as well? It's not going to go away. So do we make a stand in the country? Do we make a stand in our own city? Do we change some bylaws? Do we make it safer for women to access services if they are working there? I'm not against them. They should be there. They should be legally run, and they should be there to protect the women more than they're being protected now.
Right. So what do you see in terms of, with the current situation, What's happening to these women? It sounds like they're certainly not solving their addiction problems after they go to work in these places.
Well, and not everyone's addicted. Some are just trying to get through university. Some are single moms trying to put food on the table.
So not everyone is, in your eyes, a victim. Some are there by choice?
No, definitely not. It's a choice. Some are driven there because that's maybe their last choice of employment. But some actually choose it as a job. It is a good money-making career. And if you can pay off a $40,000 loan, putting yourself through university, I know many women who have done that. It's maybe not your best pick. It's a very tricky situation whether the individual can handle that. But yes, a lot are addicted. Maybe they've been sexually abused as children. Maybe they've been beaten in their lives. Maybe they have post-traumatic stress. It's just a quick making money for those women to get their needs met. Right?
Right. So a lot of them you do see women like you just looked out our window and you said, oh, you recognize that person.
Yeah.
What sort of needs do those women have that your group helps with?
Well, and everyone has to make their own choice, right? But the services need to be there. Are we going to have social workers to deal with them? Are we going to have some kind of housing to put them into? Now Canada has a great treatment program that deals with exploited women. Are we going to have specialized services so that when they want to exit, should they be traumatized and addicted, that there are the services there, unjudgmental, and specifically for their needs? So I don't necessarily want to go after the massage parlors and close everybody down, because then 50 women or whoever are going to be out of work. I don't want that. Are we going to have services go in to help them and work in partnership with the businesses? Because I'm sure they want their girls to be healthy as well.
Right.
So how can we as a community perhaps come to a round table? What would the girls like, or the ladies that are working there? What would the management like? And what would the city like? And what would the RCMP like? It has to be a collaboration so that we're looking at everybody's point and trying to make it safer. That's what I would like to see.
So your group always maintains what's in the best interest of each individual girl, and you could do that better if you had access to women to at least reach out to them that are working in these places.
Yeah, right now it's stigmatized, it's judgment. No one wants to say, hey, I work at the sex trade office, right? Or
Yes.
I work in the massage parlor. Your daughter, say she got a job there. Would you want her to go say, hey, I'm working at the massage parlor just down the street from Dad? Right? We don't talk about that because it is so stigmatized and judged. But there's so many married men, men with children, men just looking to fulfill their own needs that are walking into these places. Like, it's not rocket science. It's not something that's just happened.
So for people who see these women at risk and maybe it touches them and they want to help, what's your suggestion to them? What's their call to action on this topic?
Well, there's lots of great resources here in town. Outreach Urban Health, the Kelowna Friendship Center, Interior Health, right? There's all agencies ready to address this. We've had some community meetings. We're trying to gently perhaps contact some groups that, maybe we can get some conversations started at least, right? And make things a little safer. So it's in its infant stages, but, people just need to be made aware. This is a job. People should be treated as a job. They should be protected, and they still shouldn't be exploited even if they are working in these facilities.
Right. Well, thanks very much,
Okay, thank
Angie
you.
Lohr, for coming in, opening
Pleasure.
our eyes to a few things.
Thank you.
And you're watching Kelowna Now.